damaged females suffering from childhood trauma, daddy issues, psychological issues, you'll notice will always wear uniforms. Okay? What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is they will always wear uniforms in the form of excessive tattoos, excessive piercings, unusual hair dye colors. You'll notice a lot of these feminazis these days, even these coffee shop feminists, these young girls, they might be dyeing their hair like that very like whitish platinum color where it makes their entire head look like it's gray, like they're almost like an old lady, but they have like the face of a 22-year-old, right? It could be like a 22-year-old girl dyeing her entire head white. And a lot of times these girls will dye their hair like green, purple, and orange, stuff like that. What that communicates to me is not only is this girl obviously clearly a feminist, right? But she is suffering from childhood trauma, mental issues, daddy issues. A lot of times this goes back to having daddy issues, right? Her dad wasn't around. She hates her father. This is a very common theme with feminists is they are resentful of their own father. Maybe their father left. Maybe their father was abusive. Maybe their father was weak. I've seen that many times where the girl was she actually had her father in her life and he wasn't abusive. He wasn't a jerk or anything. The problem was he was too weak. He was too subservient to her mother. He never stood up for himself. For the most part, was like these blue pill simps I talk about, right? These late night talk show hosts, these type of guys that kind of like let their wives carry their balls in their purse, right? They abandon their own masculine frame to adopt the feminine frame. And when you do that, what have I told you guys? It boils back to a very basic lesson I teach you guys, that never show weakness to a woman because she will eat you alive, right? Women hate, despise, and can't stand seeing weakness in a man, especially if that man happens to be her father, right? So a lot of these feminists, believe it or not, there's a common theme that they grew up with single mothers, which is true, but there is also another common theme that I've seen where they did grow up with a father, and the problem was that father was weak. He was beta, he was blue pill, he never stood up for himself. Thus, he never disciplined the daughter, right? Even when she was wrong, instead of disciplining her for her bad behavior, he praised her, he empowered her, right? He gave her a participation trophy, and you see the result, okay? Whenever you give like praise to a child for bad behavior, or you give them a participation trophy, like a lot of these kids, they grow up to be a piece of shit. I hate to say it. They grow up to be a piece of shit. They grow up to be a nothing burger in society. They have grown up to do nothing with their lives. And I give credit to those kids who grew up in that environment and who did get a participation trophy, who went in the exact opposite direction and made something of themselves. They're like, F this trophy, I didn't earn it. I want to go out and earn my keep. I want to go out and do something with my life. So props to those kids who fought against the brainwashing of the feminine, of the mainstream narrative, and actually did something with themselves. At the end of the day, like I said, man, damaged females that are walking around in society, many times you can identify these girls by the uniforms that they will wear, okay? And again, it will often come in the form of excessive tattoos. Like the girl might have like these sleeve tattoos that you might see, right? Like her entire sleeve is covered with tats, or she might have like a gigantic tattoo on her back, or she just might have multiple tattoos covering her body, right? Just a clear sign of somebody who is antisocial, because I mean just basic psychology will tell you that. I studied psychology in college. I minored in it, and that was one of the biggest things that I learned. It's probably not in textbooks anymore because a lot of these liberals are burning textbooks and burning history and trying to revise everything. In the last few hundred years, basically anybody who gets excessive tattoos, especially females, tend to be antisocial. They tend to be suffering from some type of childhood trauma. Same thing with multiple piercings. You'll see a lot of these girls like have the bull ring piercing through the nose. It's like super unfeminine. These girls will have like a bull ring piercing through their nose, might have the tattoos going, might have the multicolored hair. The sad thing is a lot of these girls will walk around, like walk down the street thinking she's different and thinking she's like giving the finger to society. And really anybody with an ounce of intelligence can see right through that uniform and can see that this person is in pain. They are suffering from PTSD, right? Post-traumatic stress syndrome from childhood, their parents, poor upbringing, shitty parenting. Nobody with an ounce of intelligence is seeing that person walk down the street and going, wow, that person looks so cool. I want to be just like them. Instead, they're like, man, go get help, dude. Go get help, girl. You're in pain. You need help, right? You need help. You have issues. Especially when I see a lot of these like YouTube videos of these feminists in like the multicolor hair dye, or you might see them at your local coffee shops or Starbucks. A lot of times these girls are working behind the counter, which is scary, right? I would not hire somebody to work behind the counter that looked like that unless I had like a record store or something. And they don't even have record stores anymore. But back in the day, we had something called Tower Records, and you would see a lot of these like type of people working behind the counter with multiple piercings and tattoos and stuff like that. So it made sense there. But working as your waitress at your fancy steak restaurant or something like that is probably not. I mean, yeah, it might be very, very hip. It's probably not the best idea, because most people who like dine in those places have at least a little bit of intelligence to know that like this person has childhood trauma who is serving my food and bringing me this giant steak knife and could probably stab me in the heart. A lot of these damaged females that are suffering from childhood trauma, daddy issues, maybe even sexual abuse from childhood, will tend to wear uniforms, okay? And they will also tend to support like SJW causes, social justice causes. These are the first people to rally behind anybody who they feel is being oppressed, whether it's like gays, homosexuals, transgenders. Those are just, the people that are like most on the hot plate right now to being oppressed. So of course these type of chicks jump on that, and they will post on their social media all of their links and shit like that in support of these things. And really what they're trying to do, it's not even so much they believe in the cause, it's more that they're trying to fill the void, this empty void in themselves, that they're standing up for somebody else who has been abused or they feel has been abused, right? But really in society today, it's like society is championing these people. They are not being oppressed in any in any form. Anyway, a lot of these damaged females will do that. They will jump on board with a lot of these SJW groups. They will associate with other damaged individuals. They will also tend to want an echo chamber, right? So they will surround themselves with other people who are exactly like them and not let anybody else in with a differing opinion. Anybody who can actually challenge them with facts, statistics, logic, reason. They instead rather stay in this echo chamber where they can hear themselves speak, hear other people mimic the same exact ideas that they have, even though they preach to be the most tolerant. I'm the most tolerant. I'm the most tolerant, right? They're the least tolerant. So anybody who preaches that they're tolerant is generally somebody who's not tolerant. It's just like people who preach against racism are generally people who are the most racist that I've found. So these girls will generally want an echo chamber. A lot of the times these chicks too, because they hate their father, and because they hate their father, they end up hating men. They also are generally godless. These women tend to, like 99% of them are definitely not going to be Christians. They're not going to be believers in God or Christ. They're going to be very anti-Christ and very anti-God, just because anything that resembles a male, they are going to rally against. Anything that resembles keeping the patriarchy intact, they are going to rally against. So that's what makes these chicks damaged, is the fact that they have like gone deep into their mental issues, to the point where they've become not only self-destructive to themselves, but destructive to society. Okay? And obviously, clearly, you should not be dating these girls, right? The only positive, I don't even know if I can call this a positive, but the only thing about these girls that I will say is most times they're very easy to have sex with, right? They're very easy to have sex with. They're not going to require you take them out on 3 dates. They're not going to require you know them for more than like an hour or so. So they're damaged in that sense, where they will like willingly have sex with you if they feel like it. They really have no morals, no values. They have no center, no core. But at the end of the day, they are damaged. I mean, that's what makes them this way. So the point of this coaching video is I want you to be able to identify damaged females, because a lot of you guys, are looking for girlfriends, LTRs. Some of you guys are even looking to get married, right? And a lot of you guys don't realize that there are a lot of damaged females walking around out there that will just cause nothing but chaos and bring nothing but chaos into your life and disruption. These are the ways, guys, to spot damaged females. Don't ignore them, right? When you meet a girl who has excessive tattoos, has multicolored hair, has a bull ring through her nose, beware. Beware of what type of chick you're dealing with. You're not dealing with a chick who is, going to be traditional or conservative, who is going to praise you for being a man or exercising your masculinity. No, instead she's going to fight you. She's going to try to shame you. She's going to try to poison drip you. She's just going to bring a lot of misery into your life. So if that's what you're looking for, more power to you. But for most of us, that is not what we want. And I just wanted to do this very quick coaching video just to give you a framework for when you're out there and you come across females who look like this. 9 out of 10 times they're not looking like this for a fashion statement, and even if they are, that's just on the surface. I mean, what's beyond that is a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of psychological issues, and a whole heck of a lot of daddy issues, okay? And if that's what you're looking to bring into your life, again, more power to you. For me, I don't have time for it. I don't have time to deal with chicks like this anymore. I don't even want to have friends like this in my life, man. I just don't have time for it. I have a business to run. I want to enjoy my life. I want to be happy. I want to be fruitful. I want to add value to other guys' lives. I want to meet cool, hot chicks. I want to help my students meet cool, hot chicks. And I want to keep you guys from meeting damaged females who are just going to make your life miserable, who are going to bring misery into your life, and are going to make you hate your life. We're here to avoid all that. The point of this coaching video was to basically give you eyesight, give you vision on how to spot girls who display any of these external traits, right? These uniforms, because again, damaged females will always wear uniforms, right? And sometimes they'll wear uniforms in ways you won't expect, okay? I've dated some damaged females who didn't have tattoos, who didn't have the bull ring through her nose or excessive piercings or multicolored hair. Instead, their uniform was in a version of wearing like very expensive clothes, right? I've dated a few girls who were damaged and did have daddy issues and were suffering from childhood trauma that went in a different direction and put on a completely different uniform where they were wearing almost what I want to call a social mask of like very expensive clothes. Like there one girl I was thinking of, she bought a lot of like Gucci clothes and Prada. It wasn't like she was into this type of stuff. I mean, I can understand, like there are a lot of women I've dated who've been into this type of like kind of like higher class type brands, right? These higher type class brands like Prada and whatnot. But they were in a position where they could afford this stuff. They had great jobs. They had the money to do it. They had reason to buy this stuff, like the quality, the feel, the social aspect of it. But the girl that I could think of, or the girls I can think of that wore these clothes that were suffering from psychological issues, dad issues, and childhood trauma, these girls weren't necessarily able to afford these clothes. It was just they were wearing this kind of like a social mask to kind of like shield who they really are deep inside, so that you couldn't see beyond her social mask, that she was trying to hide her trauma. Because women who will wear the tattoos, the bull ring, and the multicolored hair are not trying to hide it. They're actually being pretty obvious about it. They kind of want to get in your face and be like, F you. Whereas girls who are a little more reserved about it, they're not going to have all of those very obvious and blatant uniforms. They're not going to wear all that stuff. Instead, they're going to go in the opposite direction, where they're going to like buy clothes they can't afford. They're going to try to live a lifestyle they can't afford. They'll like this girl in particular that I was thinking of that bought all the Gucci stuff, the Prada stuff, like thousands of dollars in clothes, even though she had kids, even though she had kids to take care of, like in the future, she had like kids, she had family to take care of and whatnot. She was still buying all this high-end stuff that she probably couldn't afford. She was like leasing a brand new BMW, like convertible BMW she probably couldn't afford. That was just a different form of a uniform where she was trying to cover her childhood trauma, her daddy issues, her psychological issues, and she was trying to sweep them under the rug. So it's almost better when these girls actually wear a blatant uniform with the tats and the multicolored hair and the bull ring through the nose, so you can spot them, because the other girls are a little harder to spot. But either way, it's a uniform. These chicks are damaged, and I want you to be careful, be aware of them, and when you meet these girls, don't walk, run, okay? Run. There are too many good girls out there to waste a second even thinking about dating any of these damaged females. That's all I'm gonna say for today's coaching video. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Do not forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. Okay, more importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. When you're subscribed, you get all of my uploads fresh as I upload them, so you won't have to search YouTube for them. And sometimes YouTube even removes a fresh upload that I just did. And for you guys who are subscribed, you're able to watch it before it gets taken down. But guys who are not subscribed, they don't get it, and then you start messaging me like, hey, where's the video? How can I get it? And I'm like, it's gone, right? It's gone, YouTube took it. So this is why you wanna make sure you're subscribed. So please make sure you're subscribed to my channel. And for all you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content that I'm teaching you even further, the best way to support me is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I am teaching guys just like you, just like you, how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I am talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, the same exact type of women that myself and all of my coaching students who are in my program, 7 Months of Mastery, are approaching and closing every single week all over the world. And I kid you not, we are doing this all over the world, no matter what virus is going on in the world, no matter what type of racial havoc is going on in the world, protests, riots, any crazy shit that's going on, we are still out there crushing it and making things happen. Okay, so if you want to get into 7 Months to Mastery, this is the absolute best way to support my work. And right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons, just $1. And all you need to do to get signed up is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.